Chris Moore was my student, and I operated on the side of the desk where the authority was, and that's the way things work. And it's very fitting that the Flamingo Award today went to folks who had an experience there at Keyhole, because I realized how fully Chris and I had reversed roles, you see. He became my mentor when I got interested in this outdoor stuff. And that was a pretty emotional part of my life, as I suppose I communicated to some extent in that journal I gave you last night. But old Chris got me on Section 3 of the Chattooga one day, and I was paddling along this boat by myself. And we got to Keyhole, and I said, well, Chris, guess we'll just drag this old boat around this old beach here, won't we? And he said, Cushman, paddle this rapid. And you know, I began to realize I'd gotten on the other side of the desk there, I believe. I was out there in that classroom chair, and so I got in the boat and I commenced to go down through. It was right at the top of that drop, right? And I commenced to try to draw right to stay away from that rock and slide by it and go on down the drop there. But instead, I just washed right up on that rock. The canoe was just stuck there right at the lip of this drop. And this funny little voice got in my head and said, Cushman, son, you're safe right here. Don't do anything rash. Just stay here, perched on this rock. No harm will befall you. It'll rain occasionally, and you can get something to drink. It's just real cool right here. If you push your boat off this rock, look where you're going to go. Well, that sounded very enticing for a while, and so I just sat there for a while. And Moore was down in the eddy at the bottom of the rapid, dozing, waiting on me to do something or other. And so I sat there a while. But finally, the ineluctable truth began to crash in upon me, to the effect that there was no food on this rock, and that it was late in the summer, and it wasn't much rain, and I was in a pretty uncomfortable place. And I decided that I didn't want to spend eternity there. And I dazed over there, slobbering away, just like I told you last night. And I saw this compassionate mouth say, welcome to the river, Cusharoo. We'll stand as Chris comes up here so that we can greet them both.
Perhaps it was because of the perceived, and I'll emphasize that perceived difficulty of that particular move, that Cush has asked me to come do something that I consider equally as difficult, and that's trying to follow that bit of verbosity and eloquence in my own simple way. What Cush has asked me to do is extremely important to him, and therefore touches me greatly that he's asked me to do it. But it's extremely important to me, and I think, if not now, certainly by the end of this week, all y'all realize how important it is to you. It's true that I was fortunate enough, along with Larry Roberts, to get in on the ground floor of the beginning of this trip. There are a lot of people here in this room who were also saw this trip in its early days, and therefore have been able to see it reach the heights that it has now. And throughout the years, we've talked to each other, all of us, those of us involved in the formation of the trip, about, you know, why is it working here? Why is it not working in this particular place? But overall, you know, why is it continuing to be such a good thing? And I think there are a lot of reasons, but I think there's a fundamental reason that, at least for the first couple of years or so, some of us didn't put put the significance on it that we have come to now. It's when you're caught up in your own thing, it's hard to put a perspective on where your program or your class or your school or any of these things fit in to a bigger picture. But another part of my job at Baylor when I was there was working with the admissions office, and part of that entailed traveling around and seeing some other secondary schools and how they did their things, and traveling to different states. And I felt very fortunate to get a perspective on Baylor and what was happening there. And since I'm still in education, although now back on the other side of the desk, I'm able to even add a further dimension just on viewing education and how programs are run. And maybe the single common denominator that's been a reason for success all these years about the Baylor senior trip, and I dare say about Baylor in general, has been the leadership. There are headmasters and there are presidents throughout the country that put a lot into their schools and their institutions. This is the 10th anniversary of the senior trip, actually the 11th trip, but it was 1976 that we did our first one. And Dr. Barks has been on every trip. Probably even more amazing than that is that he has participated on every day of every trip. If you'll put in perspective what time of year this is for him, we all know what time of year it is for you all.
It's the best kind of learning. What you're getting told you're going to use in the next 5 minutes. Your ability to listen has to do with your ability to get through. It's a wonderful classroom.
The reason it rings true to us is that it's born from the roots of a man who loves these people in this land, this old land of the American Southeast, the Southern Appalachians. And it's out of that spirit that we have loved David and have appreciated his continuing to be willing to come back to us every year, even as his own fame and career have taken off. And we are grateful for that because he represents values that we believe in and that we're happy to present to our seniors every year. David, welcome back.
All right. All right.
I guess it was about 17 years ago when I first heard this song. It's an old tune on a 78 record by Uncle Dave Macon, who was the first star of the Grand Ole Opry back in about 1925. Now, Uncle Dave was quite a character, and he played in the old-time banjo style. He was quite a drinker. Somebody once asked Uncle Dave, they said, "Uncle Dave, Tennessee's just about to be overrun with Baptists and crabgrass. What are we going to do?" He said, "Well, I don't know what you can do about the Baptists, but if you pour a little whiskey on that crabgrass, those Baptists lead it right down to the nub." Oh, Mama died on Friday night, Saturday she was buried, Sunday was my court day, Monday I got married. Won't get drunk no more, won't get drunk no more, won't get drunk no more, way down the old Lake Road. Now Nashville is a pretty place, Memphis is a beauty. You want to see them pretty days go baseball if I don't come back. You won't see me at all from Buffalo to Washington. One more time. I feel like crying since she's gone. Good singing. I got to play on Hee Haw in February. Playing a segment. Absolutely the corniest show on television, but when you play old-time music, where else can you go? I want to show you how to do this because it's pretty easy to do. You just get one between your thumb and your first finger. My dad showed me how to play these spoons. I grew up in Texas, and he played the bones and the spoons. That's what he said to do. Get one finger in between, hold it tightly in your hand. Just hold it tightly back here like you're making a fist around it. If you have that one finger in between, it makes a little space between the spoons. You just hit down on your leg and up on your hand, down your leg and up on your hand. Your hand doesn't have to move. Go back and forth. If you want to get fancy, you can drag the spoons across your outstretched fingers like this. Get a little rolling sound. There's some other kind of things you can do with the spoons. Go get the battery out of the truck and bring her in the house and hook her up to the radio. We'd all gather around and listen to WMLSM, Grand Ole Opry, and WLS barn bands. Oh, it was wonderful. I mean, people came from miles around to hear that radio. And they have a game they play there using hand bone rhythms in Africa, when they do the slapping rhythm with two of them. It's really interesting to watch. Let me just show you some of the rhythms I've learned. I'll show you some I learned over there, too. The simplest one goes like this. You clap your hand, let one hand slide off and slap your leg, then slap the other leg. So you got bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. Yeah. Okay, here's another one. It goes like this. You leave a little space between your hands and you clap on both sides. I do it slow first. Okay. You hit on your leg, the ham bone they call it, and you hit up on your ham bone and up on your chest. Down on your leg with the back of your hand, up on your leg, up on your chest. Go back and forth and hitting everything you can. There you go. If you make your mouth a big circle, you get a high-pitched sound. If you make it a small circle, you get a low-pitched sound.
salient characteristic was his ability to gather together groups of young people of college age and take them on expeditions of unusual ambition. For instance, Roy, with a group of college students from Antioch, completed the first winter traverse of the Brooks Range in Alaska, one of the most ferocious mountain ranges on earth.
So 19, I left for Africa. I didn't go by BOAC, I didn't take a jet or whatever they say. I hitchhiked out there. And I arrived there just before Christmas, I think, in 1959. And that Christmas I climbed Kilimanjaro, which was one of my great dreams. I never thought I would ever go to Africa. I ended up climbing Kilimanjaro. But what I want to talk a little bit about this evening are dreams. You know, what are dreams? And what do dreams mean in our lives? And do they take us places, or are they just something that's a luxury we participate in, indulge in, and don't know anything about? And for me, dreams have been something that have become realities. And then I heard the hyenas coming in. A lot of hyenas there. I was kind of afraid. It was just 2 weeks before this, an American and his wife were camping in Amboseli. The woman had woken up in the morning and found her husband had his head taken off with a hyena. So everyone he sent was afraid of hyenas then. So I crept under my Land Rover, I put the fire on, and got under my Land Rover. This is an interesting area because the land of the Shifter, the Shifter is a general name given to terrorists and marauders, nomadic people who live in this part of the world. But particularly they were the Galuba tribe whose territory I was in. The Galuba, before they can become married, before a woman will accept them as a husband, the man has to produce a pair of human testicles. And that's the kind of this equivalent of killing a lion, if you like, or perhaps where I came from, bringing home your first paycheck. You were a man, you see, and you could be sure that you were able to do what was necessary to get through the kind of life that lay ahead of you. So I lay under this Land Rover, and all the romanticism disappeared, and I was absolutely petrified. Because the hyenas I knew couldn't get me, but I wondered who might have seen me. Any of the Galuba had seen me under my Land Rover, getting under my Land Rover. And I figured also they could not distinguish between my anatomy and those of the other tribes in the area. I doubted whether the women would be particular about it. I was particularly anxious. But that's it. The dream was that one day I wanted to come down this river and I wanted to know where it came from. Well, the dream materialized. 20 years later, I went down the river. I realized probably a little too late that you really can make anything happen if you really want to. I mean, things were happening in my life then, but bigger things could.
moving and meaningful presence in our midst, primarily because he sees some things that the rest of us, or many of us, don't see. And hears some things that the rest of us, or that many of us, don't hear.
But I promise that I won't start off any introduction by saying, here's a little tune I wrote. But this song is about a common thread that runs through all of us, no matter what station in life about our needs and wants, and how similar they can be, and how different the objects that we need are. If I was a poor man, born into my pain, a place where promise never came, and I walk hungry through my day, I'd send a prayer that I would eat just once again, a place to hide me from the driving winter wind. These things are golden to a man who has no friend. Have you ever been? If I were a rich man, a pheasant under glass, inside my house of silk and brass, and I control the working class, I'd spend my nights up in my office with a grin, to close the deal that makes me richer twice again. I need a beach house and another set of wheels. You know how that feels. If I was a color, stripped of my true name, dragged to the south in iron chains, and so I live my life in vain. I turn the soil and plant the seeds for you to smoke, and sing to God so that my spirit is not broke. One night I'd find you all alone beside the well, and I'd send you to hell. Well, I am not a poor man, and rich I'll never be, and I was born to the mainstream. My freedom came too easily. Oh, rich men, poor men, we have all learned how to starve. Freedom or handouts or another shiny car. We all need something else, no matter where we start. We all share this part. Chastity River. And I say that because yesterday somebody thought I was singing about chastity.
It was me.
I live in the mountains, in the arms of a river. The chastity sang to my spirit each day. But I learned to be lonely for the majesty. You were my love from the start. Though many a lady's been kind to me, I see now we never shall part. Force you to leave and to walk many hundreds of miles to a new place where you don't want to go. Of course, that's what happened to the people who lived here, right here on this land in the 1830s. And this song is dedicated to that pain. This is called The Trail of Tears. In the wind, I listen for earth's sweet song. I pray that the words be strong to sing to the place in my soul where the emptiness grows. In the sky, I search for a wing of gold. The eagle gives hope, I'm told, but the raven bird cries on the cold granite sky. 2 days behind me, my hills are gone, my fields undone, my fire is cold and it's quiet, where once there was a home.
Fred Park and his friend Bob Willoughby.
Well, that about says it all. You're dismissed. This is Mr. Willoughby here, and I'm Fred. So since we have this modern technology at our disposal, we'll just put it here between us. And there, Sharon. Thank you. If at some point in time I seem frozen in midstream and I'm unable to finish a sentence, if you would finish it for me, I will accept whatever it is that you would like to close on the end of the sentence. We all do that most of the time anyway, we just don't do it out loud, isn't that so? Well, we'll start here with a little song that's sort of a welcome song. I hope that you like this all right. Mr. Willoughby here is going to play the 6-string guitar. This is a jazz musician who has consented to knock around some good chords for us to play some music. It's great. Thank you. Been saving up my energy, now we're gonna play for you. Been saving up all my energy, we're gonna do our thing. We're gonna try and sing something. Play that guitar, let the feeling flow. I want some corduroy rhythm so we can tap our toes. I'm feeling warm like the sun in a storm, so let's follow the feeling flow. Let's all go down to Shinbone Town. You know we got the music disease. Let's all go down to Shinbone Town where arthritis will never bite us. Where you can do what your feet want to do. In soft skin or socks or in your shoes. I'm Tin Pan Sam at your service as I am, serving a hot lick or two. Well, this song is for you. I said this song is for free. Boy, boy, chicken ride to buy shoes. This song is for you. This song is for free. All you Tennessee crackers and southern snack flackers. Won't cost you a dime, not a dime, you see. But we're accepting all smiles from you to me. So fill us with Jim, or fill us, have a grin from your chin. Maybe we'll play this song again sometime. some corduroy rhythm so we can tap our toes. I'm feeling warm like the sun in a storm. So let's follow the feeling and flow. Let's all go down to Shinbone Town. You know we got the music disease. Let's all go down to Shinbone Town where arthritis will never bite us. Where you can do what your feet want to do. In soft skin or socks or in your shoes. I'm Tin Pan Sam at your service as I am, serving a hot lick or two. Well, this song is for you. I said this song is for free. Boy, boy, chicka ride do I shoot. This song is for you. This song is for free. All you Tennessee crackers and southern snack flackers. Won't cost you a dime, not a dime, you see. But we're accepting all smiles from you and me. So fellas from Jim or jealous fellas, have a grin from your chin. Maybe we'll play this song again sometime. Thank you. You're very kind. There are a number of obligations that I have being invited to be here. Not the least of which is telling you all a variety of jokes that seem to be the kind of jokes that, what? No, forget it. The kind of jokes that you want to forget. Being as there are only really two great traditions in amongst telling jokes, there are jokes to be enjoyed by everybody, and then there's jokes to be enjoyed by the teller. Why, I'll tell you some of those latter to you because they're the ones that are really for forgetting. So, I'm going to start right off with one of these jokes now. Oh my God. Oh, I do know. There's one joke that I really wanted to tell you that has to do with being Americans. Now, most of y'all know what it's like to be an American, but not really. Born and raised in America doesn't give you the right to be thinking of yourself as an American in an objective sense, because you're so caught up in it, it's right in front of you and it's difficult to see. You know, you can't see the forest for the trees, and some people can't see the forest or the trees. That's neither there nor here, and so I'll proceed since this is not worth remembering anyway. What I wanted to tell you is if you had a chance to leave America, then you'd be able to perceive America, because you'd know that there was something that was missing. So this little kid is going to write a letter. The song there that you sang here just a minute ago made me think of this. And is he going to write a letter to Santa Claus, or no? I remember what it was. Yeah, it was what it was. No, let's see. I'm sorry?
Easter Bunny?
The Easter Bunny. No, not the Easter Bunny. Number, no, this is number 81, I believe. This is 81. The Easter Bunny is somewhere along about 76. What happened in this joke was that this kid sits down and he writes, you know. He says, in the privacy of his room, you know, he says, little piece of paper there and a lamp, you know, in his privacy of his room. Dear God, comma, little indented little spot there, and he starts it, he says, for Christmas, I would like a red tricycle with white wheels, period. And he writes on, if you could arrange this for me, I promise not to hit my sister for a year, period. And he looked at that, he says, Santa Claus will never believe that. He tears it up and throws it away. He gets out another piece of paper and he sits there and he's thinking, you know, he says, let's see, what he said, remember?
Dear God.
Dear God. Oh, that's what it was. He decided he'd go up a little higher. He starts out, Dear God. I would like for Christmas a red tricycle with white wheels, period. If you can help me arrange this in any way, I would be pleased to not only not hit my sister for a year, but not get in a fight with anybody for a year, period. He looks at it. He says, God knows everything. I can't get away with this. He tears it up and throws it away. And he's sitting there. And he can't really quite come up with what's the right thing to do, you see. So he decides to take a break and go get some milk and cookies. And he's on the way down, and he walks by the telephone stand there, and then he looks at it, goes on and gets his cookies and milk, and he comes back, and standing right there on this little shelf right above the telephone, he looks down the hall, you know, there ain't nobody inside. There's this statue, you know, of Mary holding a little baby. He moves around, and he takes that thing off the shelf, and he goes down in the basement, put that sucker in a paper bag, and hid it under the hot water heater. He went upstairs into the privacy of his room, you see. He got this pencil out. He started out, Dear God, comma, if you ever expect to see your